Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Sage and welcome to this video everybody. In this video I will be going over 5 weapons like in general that you should be getting in Pixel Gun 3D. So I did ask my entire Discord server this and we all came up with a couple of different weapons that we thought that you guys should definitely get in general. Now, a lot of these weapons are going to be weapons you've heard of before. Some of them I may have actually been talking about in previous videos, and if that is the case, then yeah, you're probably hearing them again. But a lot of the times, guys, these weapons kind of like loop into like one sort of category where they all are definitely like really good weapons that you should get. So that being said, a lot of these were chosen by my Discord server. And so I also believe that a lot of these weapons definitely make sense for people who are low level as well as people who are, a higher level, as they kind of apply to all people. These weapons I'll be talking about are just basic weapons that you should be getting in Pixel Gun 3D because they're really useful, they do a lot of good damage, and they work for whatever way. So if you guys do find this video useful, and if you do enjoy it, I'd very much appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel because I do post videos every single day, and I do like to stream occasionally as well, so be sure to turn on those notifications after you subscribe, and let's go ahead and get right into this video.
Okay, guess we doing just fine. Said I'm not yours, so I'll say you're not mine. Okay, just a waste of my time. Out of my head, of my mind. Say you wanna leave, so I'll let you go. Guessing it was.
Okay guys, so the first weapon I'll be talking about is called the Undertaker. Now there's something really interesting about the Undertaker. It is a 1-shot to the head and a 2-shot to the body, or a 2-shot to the head and a 3-shot to the body, depending on what kind of modules on it. Obviously, the better the modules you have on the weapon, the more damages it's going to do. That's what we see on almost all weapons in the game. Obviously, kinetic damage modules are starting to go away, and magic modules are starting to become really popular, and people are starting to use those more. So at the moment right now, I believe that the magic damage modules are probably the best ones. So if you have a magic damage module on this thing, I believe you can 1-shot to the head and 2-shot to the body. Nonetheless, this weapon by itself is actually a 2-shot to the head and a 2-shot to the body, and it costs coins. So unlike all the other ones that cost craftable parts, kind of like the Viking, the acid shotgun, the witch hunter, all those shotguns, require you to gather up so many parts before you're able to craft it. This one you can actually just buy from the shop, which is really good because it doesn't actually cost too much. I think it's like less than 1,300 coins or something like that. I could be wrong on the price there because it's been so long since I have actually gotten this gun. But this weapon, guys, is so worth getting, guys. It works so well for like 3 cat spam or 4 cat spam even. You could use it as like a 4th weapon throughout your cat spam. So if you're using like all animation weapons, you can actually switch over to the shotgun and then switch to a different animation weapon. And it acts as like a middleman weapon. Most shotguns do, except for like the Ultimatum and the Viking. The acid shotgun works in the same way. It can actually act as a middleman weapon where it doesn't have or give any sort of delay to any other weapons. So you can actually use it for a 3 or 4 cat loadout, whatever you guys want to do. The weapon itself is so powerful. It has a high capacity and an extremely high fire rate as well. It's a really good shotgun. It's 100% worth getting because of the fact that you can actually get it for coins. So instead of like spending all of your craftable parts, or not really your craftable parts, but if you spend like all your time trying to get those parts, then it's going to be a lot like less worth it than if you were just to buy this weapon, guys. It works really well, and I 100% recommend you get it. Okay guys, so the next weapon I will be talking about is called the Exterminator. Now you guys have probably heard me talk about this weapon before, and that's because of how good the weapon is. The weapon itself is a 2-shot to the head and a 2-shot to the body. If you have good enough modules on it, you can actually make it so that it's a 1-shot, and of course it works for the vice versa. If the person doesn't have the greatest modules on their armor, if they don't have like the best armor in general, then you can definitely get this weapon to be a 1-shot to the head. In most scenarios, whenever you're playing on like a duel game, you can probably hit somebody once with a shotgun, such as the Undertaker, which we previously talked about, and then you can shoot them in the head with the Exterminator, and likeliness is that they will die instantly. So the Exterminator works really well with any 3-cat spam you can imagine, except for, of course, the double animation weapons, weapons that give animations to others. You have to obviously have a middleman weapon in between each of them, so that's the only downside about using this thing, but the weapon itself is really powerful. It has a relatively normal capacity. The fire rate isn't too crazy, but the weapon, guys, is so good for 3-cat spam. It does a lot of damage, guys. More often than not, I get my kills with this weapon. Like, I usually shoot them once with the poison darts, and then I switch over to the Exterminator, and I finish them off with that final blow. And let me tell you guys, that works so well. That you can't go wrong using this weapon at all. And I think that it's not that expensive either. I believe that at a low level it costs like less than 500 coins, and I think that the most it'll ever cost is like less than 700. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong there, because I bought this weapon so long ago. It's one of the first weapons that I actually bought. So let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong about that, guys. But this weapon is insanely good. I use it for 3-cat spam all the time, and it's 100% worthwhile getting if you are like, you know, a 3-cat spammer. I mean, even if you're not a 3-cat spammer, it's still worth getting because it does so much damage. It's definitely like worth the coins that you'll spend on it. So just to talk about melee just like a little tiny bit here, I don't want to go into too much detail because there really is only like a simple thing you need to remember about having melee weapons, and that is the fact that you need to get one that is around 85 mobility. You're not going to want to get one that's like 50 mobility, trust me. You definitely would much rather go for something that's like an 85 mobility. For me personally, I don't even use melee to get kills. There's a really good one that I would recommend though. The Good and Evil, I'm not really sure how expensive those are, but the Good and Evil, that's 2 swords that I'm using here in this clip. But I use this one a lot because it has the random effect thing. So if you have this thing all the way maxed out, not only do you have it at level like you have it like at the max level and you can go 85 mobility, but it also has the random effect thing to it, which means that you can do something like I believe it has like sometimes you can do area damage, sometimes you can have poison, sometimes you can have bleeding, sometimes there's fire. There's a whole bunch of effects that you can get with this one, so it's definitely something you should look into if you haven't gotten this weapon just yet. You should definitely max it out because this weapon can do a lot of damage even though you're just using it to for movement for the most part. So yeah guys, like I said, I don't really have too much to say about the melee category. Okay guys, so the next weapon I will be talking about is called the Poison Darts. Now the Poison Darts is a really different weapon compared to most of the weapons in the special category. Of course, the special category is known to have a bunch of eccentric weapons, but when you come down to and like really think about the Poison Darts, it's literally just a piece of wooden tube that you blow through and it shoots a dart at someone. So it seems really simplistic, but in fact it's really complicated because the way that it shoots, when you press the shoot button, you actually have to wait about a half second or more before the bullet actually shoots out at your enemy. So although it is a hit skin, you do have to wait for like an actual shooting animation for the bullet to actually like, you know, go towards the enemy, and there's actually nothing wrong with that. A lot of people hate animations, but this one doesn't have like a per se animation, because you could shoot the bullet as soon as you tap the button for the shoot. You can actually switch to a different weapon and the bullet from the poison darts will still shoot, although you'll still be switching to a different weapon. So it'll act as if it doesn't have an animation, although it secretly does. You kind of just don't have to experience it. And that's something that's really unique about this weapon. So it does act as a middleman weapon, meaning that you can use two weapons that have animations, such as like the let's think the anti-champion. You can switch from anti-champion over to poison darts and then over to reflector or something like that. That'll work perfectly for you because, you know, it acts as a middleman weapon. And not to mention, guys, this weapon it shoots a bullet that can actually one shot to the head and one shot to the body when you have no armor on. When you do have armor on, it is a 2-shot to the head as well as a 2-shot to the body. You can upgrade it to legendary is what I would recommend doing because it makes it a lot more powerful and it makes the poison like effect a lot more like present. And the poison effect is already really good, but a lot of the times you usually shoot somebody with it, and then you kind of like maybe they'll kill you with a one-shot weapon, and then like while you're responding, you'll see that you got a kill, and that's because the poison actually killed them, guys. So this weapon is not very expensive either. I think it's like 585 coins or something like that. It's pretty cheap. It's 100% worth getting because of its damage. You never have to reload it. It shoots. It has a really high mobility. And since it's kind of like the laser bow, if you know what weapon I'm talking about, it doesn't have any like ammunition. You just keep shooting, you know, you don't have to reload. And like I said, since it has a really high mobility, it works so well with like any 3-cat spam you can think of. So this is one of the best weapons in the game for special category. Okay guys, so the next weapon I will be talking about is called the Photon Sniper. Now the Photon Sniper is one of the cheapest snipers that you can get in the entire game. The Photon Sniper, guys, is I believe less than 300 coins, something like that, and it's 100% worth getting because of the fact that it is a 2-shot to the head and a 2-shot to the body as well. I don't think that this weapon can become a 1-shot to the head in any scenario at all. I think it will be a 2-shot to the head no matter what you do, but that's still okay because of the fact that the weapon does, you know, such a high amount of damage anyways. You know, a 2-shot to the head is still good, and of course a 2-shot to the body is also really good. I'm really surprised because weapons that are usually 2-shot to the head are also like a 3-shot to the body, but not this one, and this one one is less than 300 coins. It also has a burning effect that you can use to kill the enemy, even though you might have not like hit them in the head. The burning effect might be able to finish them off after you have already shot them. So this weapon works really, really well for 3-cat spam as well. You can use it for any weapon that has an animation before it. However, it does give an animation to the next weapon that you use, unless it is a weapon that doesn't take or receive one. So I would definitely recommend using a middleman weapon in between, even though this one doesn't receive one. It will actually give an animation to whatever weapon you're using next. So you know, that's something you have to pay attention to, guys. But for a cheap weapon like this, the way that it functions for 3-cat spam, you know, the amount of damage that it does, it's 100% worth getting. Okay guys, so the last weapon I will be talking about is called the Proton Freezer. Now a little bit of info about the Proton Freezer. It is not a one-shot to the body or a one-shot to the head or anything like most of the area damage weapons are in this game at this point. But this one is actually a 2-shot, and let me explain why I believe it's one of the best weapons that you can get. The fact that it has a slowdown effect makes it so much better than a lot of other weapons in the heavy category. And here's why. A lot of the weapons don't have very many like special unique effects like this one does. You know, you kind of have stuff like burning, you have, of course, your area damage, you have cluster and stuff like that, but this one is slowdown, and I can't really think of too many of them that have this slowdown effect. I know that the Spark Shark, I believe, does, as well as the Killer Whale, but this is one of the only other ones that I can think of that has this effect. Of course, there are going to be others, you know, I just don't know every single weapon within the game, by heart. But this weapon, guys, is 100% worth getting. It is only 500 coupons, meaning that you can get it, like, really, really easily. After buying just a couple of, like, really, really cheap weapons, you can be able to get enough coupons that you'll need to, go on over and buy this weapon, guys. It's 100% worth getting because it doesn't have any sort of fixed delay, meaning that if you switch over to it during 3-cat spam, you won't have a delay no matter what, meaning that you can actually use it as a 4 or even 5-cat spam if you're including a primary weapon or something like that. But it's 100% worth getting, guys, because it's high damaging, it has a slowdown effect, and it has a really high capacity as well, with an 8 bullet capacity. Okay guys, those are my picks for the top 5 weapons that you should be getting in Pixel Gun 3D. Obviously, some of these weapons are going to be a little bit harder to get than the others, such as the Photon or the Proton Freezer there. Most of the other weapons you can get really, really easily, but that one might be a little bit more difficult to get. However, it is extremely worth getting if you are willing to put in the effort. So, like I said, guys, those are my picks for the top 5 weapons that you should get in Pixel Gun 3D. Let me know down in the comments if you guys do agree, and if you guys did agree, or if you did enjoy the video and you found it useful, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and also turn on those notifications, because I do post videos every single day. And yeah, guys, so thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Hey, do you have Discord? If so, you should totally join the official Unity Discord. The link to it is down in the description. As of right now, we have over 500 members who are constantly looking for people to play with. As soon as you join, you can have easy communication with me and everyone else in the community. So, what are you waiting for, man? Go join my Discord. The link is down in the description.